right. Hey, y'all. It's Lizzie here. Today is December the 29th, 2019. I just wanted to give y'all an update on, what I found out I had about the bariatric surgery. I did the online seminar, and I went ahead and called the clinic that I want to go to, and that's at the Tenova Bariatrics, and it's Dr. Boyce and also Dr. Beasley. And well, anyway, and they told me that I needed a referral from my primary care, so I called them, and which they said they can't just write a referral. So I made an appointment, and my appointment's on the 2nd, January 2nd. So, which that's going to be fun because I always do mine usually on the 1st, but one day late, that's fine. Anyway, so I went ahead, I had called my insurance Friday, and I think I had mentioned this, that the lady, that I spoke to at United Healthcare, she really did not know what on earth I was talking about bariatrics. Okay, and so I called this morning, and the lady that I spoke to, she told me that only adolescents was covered. Okay. So I just don't think anybody knows what they're talking about, okay? Because I know that there's some, obese children, but I just can't imagine a lot of them being operated on for weight loss surgery. I just can't imagine that. Well, anyway, so, and I went online to check online for United Healthcare, and it says that I'm covered. Well, further on in the conversation that I had with the lady this morning at United Healthcare, she said that, she said, well, you're covered, but you're not. And I was like, okay, either I am or I'm not. And she said, well, I think the way that it reads is that you're partially covered. She said, you got to do this and this and this and this. And well, what are all the requirements that I need to do? And she says, oh, well, it doesn't say anything about requirements. She was just telling me that I need to do this, and because she mentioned something about the psych test and about the some kind of screening, and for people that's over, I think 45, has to have the EKG and all that. Okay, so, and she did mention those few things, and so I asked her about the requirements, and she said there is none. Okay. Okay, I know. Anyway, so, okay, yeah, it's a lot to take in. So anyway, so she said that some of it would cover the way that it reads, okay? And she said, but some of it would not, so it'd be out-of-pocket expenses. So I'm like, well, is there a percentage that I would pay? And she says, oh, well, most definitely. And I said, well, can you tell me what that percentage is? Well, no, I can't tell you that. It doesn't say that. I'm like, I need to start recording this. I really do. I need to start recording these conversations. Yeah, you can't get this anywhere else, I'm telling you. Well, anyway, so I just said, well, when I go for the initial appointment. She said, now the initial appointment and the consultation is covered. And so I said, well, when I go to for the initial appointment and the consultation, I said, they will talk about finances, right? And she said, oh yeah. And I said, so they'll go ahead and run my insurance then and tell me what's covered, what's not, and how much I'll be out of pocket, correct? And she goes, oh, most definitely. Okay, I'm sorry, but I just don't have a lot of faith in her, most definitely. This is the second person. And I even got online and I YouTube. Y'all know I love my YouTube, okay? But I YouTube this stuff to find out the questions that I need to ask, okay? And I even asked her, I said, can you help me, or do I need to have, can you transfer me to someone who can? Instead of transferring me to someone who knows what they're talking about, she just tries to, yeah. And, you got to give her I know the saying is an A for effort, but, in this scenario, I would give her an E for effort. It was bad. Anyway, so when I got off the phone with her, I talked to hubby, and Joey's like, well, let's just, whenever they call you, I was hoping that they would call me today, because I did call them Friday, and the lady that I spoke to said you have to wait until the scheduling office calls you, and she says they may call you Monday, but they didn't, so maybe tomorrow. Anyway, so when I'm hoping that, because as soon as they call, I can go ahead and do the consultation and all that, and I'll know more. I can ask, because the questions that I asked, because one of the questions was, is there any out-of-pocket expenses, outside of my insurance? And that's either a yes or a no, because when I was going to do this before, United Healthcare was going to cover it totally, but the doctor's office charged, I think it was a $1,200 fee, and I just couldn't afford that at the time. So anyway, so I talked to my husband. He said, let's just go to the consultation and find out. And he said, no matter what, we've got 6 months, before your surgery anyway, to pay on it. So, and he said, if it's not, $50,000, he's like, and he said, I don't know how much it's going to be, but let's at least go and find out. So that's what our plan is. So I'm just hoping and praying that the two ladies that I spoke to, that they really are as clueless as what I'm thinking that they are, and they don't know what they're talking about. I hope so, because I really did. I went online to check, and online, the document that I read from United Healthcare, it said updated December 1st, 2019. Yep. So anyway, but hopefully the bariatric clinic will get in touch with me, and I'll know more. And then once I know more, y'all gonna know more. Anyhow, okay, so this is short and sweet. So let me go ahead and get off of here. And I'm sorry this video is so dark. It's like, I don't know what time it is. It's like 5, it's getting dark. So it's probably 5:30 here. And yeah, and the baby's in the back. And I don't think he's very happy right now. He's ready to go home. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so let me go. And as soon as I know more, I'll let y'all know. Y'all have a good one, and God bless.